Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
This ain't financial advice, just a little DD to help you think twice. We hold for each other, eyes on the prize. The new floor's 200,000 times 5. I joke, I kid, no, I don't know a damn thing. I'm as simple as Bubba trying to sell some damn shrimp. Can't spell IQ, can't even count to 10. And I eat crayons every day with my friends. I think about Kenny in his ivory tower, shaking in his lily boots as the apes overpower. Must suck to lose to monkeys, so dumb. But you made your bed and you got nowhere to run. I'd love to be a fly on the wall when he makes the prize fall. And he watching as we keep on more. You forgot we on the float, blind 2 hours old. Lie, stop breaking the law, asshole.
Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
Throwing all my money at the streets like a quarterback. FUD don't mean a thing. Water up a duck's back. Apes not leaving nothing till we get the money stacks. Monkey see, monkey do, monkey holding to it blue. Monkey magic coming through. Through us monkeys on the moon. Double digit IQ, tendy loving bamboo. Right here we got more smoothies than a jumbo juice. Probably thought you coulda made us sell all the gooder. And hell, we maybe woulda, but we more than the Buddha. The floor 6 figures ain't selling for less. You took on the ape nation and you're fucking with the best. We hold for each other, my sisters and my brothers, the fighters and the lovers. We don't need another fan because we huddle through hard times and struggle. Cause we just a couple of diamonds in the rough.
Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
Moon gang.
Whoa. Well, hello there. This is a fun one. Moon Gang.
Let's get after it. The voice change is never gonna not make me laugh. It's never just throw some random lines around there and we'll see what we're gonna get. Moon Gang, we are back at it again. It is Monday, November 22nd, a couple days out from the old Turkey Day, which I'm particularly very, very excited about. Let's get after it. Like yesterday I tweeted out that GameStop was looking phenomenal and the excitement, I mean, it's already up 2.4%, trading at 234. If it holds this, I'm very much looking for a test to 250. AMC also having a great pre-market session, up 1.64%. Looking at 42, and right after that, 44, maybe 44 and some change. Tesla's up right now. We have some commentary from Elon related to the Model S, I believe it's S, and then Prog hanging out just below 5. So some of our favorite equities. I mean, even we could check on Lucid there for a second. Lucid down 4%, but still 53, not too far away from its all-time high at 63. 10 more dollars to go on that one. A lot of the individual equities we pay attention to are looking pretty nice. And actually, this is a great way for us to kick it all off of, here's what you need to know. Oh, whoa. Breaking news. This just dropped. Biden picks Jerome Powell to lead Fed for a second term as the U.S. battles COVID and inflation. The governor, Brainerd, was not picked. Breaking news. This was literally just announced. Biden picks Jerome Powell to lead Fed for a second term as the U.S. battles COVID and inflation. Whoa, 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 whoa. President Joe Biden announced Monday that he's renominating Jerome Powell for a second term as Federal Reserve Chair, will put forth Fed Governor Lael Brainerd as a vice chairman. The move comes weeks after speculation that Brainerd might get the nod. In making the move, Biden praised Powell for decisive leadership during the COVID crisis. Well. Well, the more you know. Literally, I was actually part of my notes right here. I had breaking notes for you. Look at all my notes. Breaking notes. All of my breaking notes. Nothing there because there were no breaking notes, but now look at us. Interesting. Well, very quickly, let's check how the overall market's reacting to said news. S&P 500 getting a pop, Q's pop, giving back, IWM definitely a pop. So the overall market is thus far reacting pretty positively. Everything about today, in my humble estimation, it has the vibe of a green day. It has the vibe of higher, green, filling up your rocket ship to go to the moon. That's the kind of vibe that we have going today. And potentially for the week. Stocks may be entering an optimal period in the Thanksgiving holiday week. Stocks usually do well in Thanksgiving week, setting up for a year-end Santa rally. There is some key data in the coming week. Most importantly, personal consumer expenditure data. This comes out Wednesday, just so everyone knows the CED there. the PCE, personal consumption expenditure data. The reason why this is important is actually because the Fed uses that. One of the most important aspects of inflation is within that. So that's why this one is it matters to us because it matters to the Fed. And if it matters to the Fed, it matters to the tapering, it matters to interest rates. So that's coming out Wednesday. But the week is a bit weird. So obviously this was just announced. That was going to be a big mover. We still have to wait for the PCE. But beyond that, the market is closed Thursday in observation of Thanksgiving. The market's not open. And then it's a half day on Friday. The market closes at 1 p.m. on Friday. Now, on a personal note, here's where I'm at in my life. I will be streaming today like normal. Tomorrow, like normal. I do not think I'll be streaming on Wednesday. I have to do one of those things where it's my family's Thanksgiving. Then on Thursday, my completely real girlfriend's Thanksgiving. And then I have to get my butt on a plane and get down to Texas on Friday for a wedding. So it's going to be a bit of a weird week. And I'll remind you of this next week, but I will be missing a stream at the end of next week. And that's for an interview that I think you guys will be very, very happy with when it finally airs. Just so everyone knows what's going on with my schedule. It has nothing to do with the market. It's more of just a holiday thing and the fact that my friend wanted to have his wedding on Thanksgiving weekend. So there's that. All right. So wanted to get that out there. We know that Powell just got picked, renominated. I see a couple questions about it. With the Fed, he was actually in office not from Biden. He has this position actually from Trump. Just so he's been there for a little bit. All right, so talking about the overall market. Overall market looking green. I'm expecting a green day, especially with Powell. People just you see it in the market quite a bit. People don't like change. A lot of times people get used to what's going on, and you can see that the market is reacting favorably to this announcement. So I would not be surprised. In fact, the S&P 500, how far we are from an all-time high? Oh, we're gapping up to a new all-time high. All right, we're going to be hitting a new high today. So congratulations if you have SPY calls or VIX puts or anything around that. In terms of individual stocks, Moderna's up right now. It got more clearance, and then Pfizer got booster approval. We will be talking about Tesla, Elon. In fact, here's actually what you need to know about it. Model S Plaid is sick. And then someone asked him, when's it coming to China? And he said, probably around March. That was earlier than expected. Hence, Tesla is now up 2.6% in pre-market. I was going to show you this guy that the Fed announcement was supposed to come to. It was like, hey, we might be getting it today, but obviously the cat's out of the bag on that one. It's already out. Once again, this piece of news, already old news. We know it's Powell. Stocks may be entering an optimal period during the holiday week. I already went over that. Seasonally, it's strong, but it's strong just beyond the week. By the time we get on the other side of Thanksgiving, it's referred to as the Santa rally, and pretty much it's seasonally, it's very bullish until basically the first week of January. We are entering a very bullish part of the trading year. And this is from some fancy schmancy person named Sam. The last 5 trading days of November are traditionally positive since 1950. There's a 2/3 likelihood that the market is up one day before Thanksgiving, and a 57% likelihood the day after Thanksgiving, and a 71% likelihood that it's up on Monday. So this is Monday following. So what, we have Black Friday and then like Cyber Monday. So like I'm saying, once we get on the other side of Thanksgiving, seasonally, it's very strong. Even in my own futures account, some of my seasonal based algorithms, they're all getting ready to go long in this time of the year. It's definitely, the odds are way more bullish than they are bearish. Does that mean it has to play out that way? Obviously not, but it's a game of trying to play the odds. Austria goes on lockdown as protests against restrictions sweep Europe. With this, I know that this very quickly becomes politically divisive. I'm bringing it up just because, hey, it impacts the market. And if something has a strong impact on the market, it's kind of part of my job of yelling at my camera in my basement to bring it up. It's supposed to be a 10-day lockdown. If it ends up being extended, if other countries follow suit, yeah, the market's not going to like that much. So it's something worthwhile to pay attention to. Or if it just goes 10 days and then we're all good to go, hey, we're fine then. And I think that could actually push the market even higher. Authentic Brands shelves IPO. I don't know much about it. Maybe I just wanted to bring it up because IPOs have been getting a lot of notoriety and attention lately. I guess this one, instead, it's selling a stake to private investors, so they're raising money that way. But in all honesty, I don't know much about it. But speaking about some other individual stocks, I wanted to bring this up. So last week, more people were asking me about Activision, and that's a fair question. It's in the world of esports. I'm very bullish on esports, but this particular company has a lot of, baggage associated with it beyond its business. Activision CEO Bobby Kotick would consider leaving his job if he can't fix culture problems at the video game maker, according to the Wall Street Journal report, and it's criticism for handling sexual misconduct allegations. Moving on to Apple. A bit of negative news as we head into Christmas. Apple won't be able to deliver new iPads in time for Christmas in key Asian markets, according to the Nike. The report also said iPhone delivery delays aren't quite as long, but still far longer than in a typical year. So once again, this is another reiteration of just supply chain issues. Time and time again, many companies of all sizes, small, medium, large, are clearly facing supply chain issues. And if you're not delivering in time, another supply chain issue. And Rivian, this is just in reference to Friday. In my luck, of course, I buy calls. And then we get the announcement that Ford and Rivian have dropped plans to jointly develop an electric vehicle. Has the vibe of a little bit of jealousy. I mean, Ford was a 12% equity holder in Rivian, and when it IPO'd, it was worth more than Ford, and it ran so much that it's worth more than Ford and GM. But Ford's obviously been around for quite a while, has delivered many vehicles. Rivian's delivered thus far 156. This is a lot of EV excitement, a lot of IPO excitement, a lot of new kid on the block excitement. But to jointly drop electric vehicle, that I find that one interesting. It would have been more, I guess, understandable to me in a certain sense if Ford was like, hey, it's up a lot, we have 12% equity, we're gonna take half of it off the table because we just made billions of dollars, we just want to help our own bottom line. But the fact that they're not really doing that, they're just saying we don't want to play with you anymore on this new EV project. Interesting. So just wanted to bring that up there. I want to talk a little bit about AMC and GME, but before we do that, I wanted to do some, Here, I'll give you the Ortex first, and then we'll get into some of the charting and some of the stories. Okay, we have about 15 minutes to still go. So this is for AMC. The borrow change has increased by 300,000 today. The estimated short interest is 15.65%. And then this week should be another release date for the exchange reported short interest. So we're going to get some recalibrations across all equities, whether they were overestimating, underestimating, or smack dab where they needed to be. Utilization is 77, shares on loan 89 million. So I want to just point out that the utilization being 77% means that AMC is not necessarily hard to borrow. You're going to see some data providers that are telling you that their particular broker is out of shares, but that doesn't mean all brokers are out of share. Remember, there's many, many brokers out there, hundreds of brokers, distinct brokers. Some have shares alone, other ones don't. But for a wide swath, because remember, Ortex gets the data from brokerages that account for roughly 85% of all market transaction volume. 85%. It's not the full picture, but it's pretty darn close. So when you're getting 85% of the picture, you're talking to a lot of brokers. And out of that group of brokers, 77% of the shares that are willing to be loaned out are actually out on loan. So you still have an additional 23%, which is probably another 20-ish million shares, give or take a little bit there. So really, it's not hard to borrow. And that's why you're seeing a lower cost to borrow fee, which is kind of opposite of what you're seeing in Prog. Prog's utilization is 99.9, so the cost to borrow is 96%. And just so you know, shares on loan 37 million there for PROG. And in terms of GameStop, they've already borrowed 100,000 against it today. Estimated short interest 8.6%, utilization 31, so 60, 70 more percent to go there. Shares on loan 6.22 million. Just so you know, the average age of these shares on loan for GME up to 61 days. Look at this trend. There's a lot of trends I was noticing yesterday on GME that super worthwhile to bring up to all of you. So first of all, this is a major trend that I'm seeing. Whoa, I didn't even know you could zoom in like that. Hang on, let me go back out. I'm in the wrong. Okay, so basically ever since August, we've just been going up and up and up. But please take note of that. Early August until now, up and up and up and up. Well, the one thing I wanted to bring to your attention on this, and I think it's worthwhile to note just because we're obviously getting this technical breakout, a lot more people are commenting to me about, Matt, could you talk to us a little bit about Wyckoff? And it's a great tool. It really, really is. I've seen it most used on daily charts, but it's not really, you can use it on any time frame that you want. Sorry, let me just bring up volume here. The thing I kind of want to bring to people's attention is just generically, as this has been going ever since that August time period, we're making a pattern of higher lows. Okay. So same period, August until now, we're seeing this trend of these shares going out on loan increasing, as in the shorts are holding longer and longer and longer, or they're out on loan. And we could assume at that point, like, why would you continue to pay that fee without taking the actual short position? So I'm going to assume most of those are actually short right now. Technically, from a technical perspective, a pattern of higher lows. So if you are following the Wyckoff accumulation, this is a very nice phase. There's someone out there, big players are accumulating. And what's interesting is you see a small kind of drop off. It's slowly trending downward in volume. And that's something I've been saying to everyone is like, hang on, it's low volume, low volume, low volume. There's a certain way you can interpret that of like, okay, we have a technical pattern of higher lows, but the volume's going less and less and less. One very fair way to interpret that, and this is perfectly in line with Wyckoff accumulation, is the big guys are loading up, they're sucking up all the supply, and they're not getting out of their supply, and hence why we have lower volume. But they're bullish on it because we see the pattern of higher lows. And you accumulate, and then you're looking for the markup period, which is a technical breakout. A lot of the times, Wyckoff, it's going to have similar other technical structures, such as like a cup and handle. Right here, this is looking very strong. I could see the odds of one of two scenarios really playing out here: a break and a rip, or a break, a retest roughly of 225, kind of a backdrop test. People find that news support, and then we play off of that. I think those are two very likely scenarios. My thesis of what's going on with GameStop right now, they have been accumulating ever since September, August, something like that. Accumulating. They are now happy with their position, and we're about to have a change of character, move to the upside. And this in Wyckoff, that's referred to as a markup. Very, very happy of what I'm seeing here. And just a little bit of a story. GME stock is rising because the Constitution DAO lost its bid to Ken Griffin. Now, I don't know if this is true, but it's just kind of funny. You guys know how petty I like to be. At a certain point, hats off to Ken Griffin. The dude spent $43 million as an FU to us. He totally knew what he was doing. That's a lot of money to spend on a petty thing. And that's, I guess, what you do when you're a billionaire. You're like, I don't even care. I will. Like, it was such an FU to our community. Days before that, he's on with Andrew Sorkin. He's like, oh no, I think those like conspiracy theorists are like kind of done now. I don't hear about them all. He's playing it off like he doesn't hear about us. And he's like, no, I think they're done. Like, whatever, I'm moving on with my life. Payment for order flow, just tell me what side of the road to drive on, blah, 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 blah. And then he sees that there's like a crowdfunded effort to buy an early copy of the Constitution. And then he buys it. And which is probably the pettiest move of the year, like, which is absolutely insane. And then Brendan here is actually arguing that this could relate to some of the excitement in GME because it's like a rebuttal from the community to Ken as like an additional FU. Let me just bring up this part right here. So we know that they didn't get it. They raised millions of dollars, over 40 million, but they didn't have enough extra money. I think they had 47, and yes, Griffin bid 43, but they needed more money for the proper transportation and care of this, of the actual document. So they maxed out their bid and they just couldn't do it. And Ken Griffin ended up winning. So anyway, as a result, Griffin is drawing, sorry. Where did that article go? No. Anyway, that's the headline. Sorry for exiting out of that or switching the page over. The assumption there is that they lost out on this and they just are going to take their money and putting it back into GME as like a reverse petty, like a reverse Uno card on Ken. I also want to talk about AMC here. And when things get going, because in my estimation, AMC, it's looking good. We're looking for this pennant breakout. Seems to be like in a certain way following behind GME in its price action, maybe lagging a little day or two. And we always see this when things positive, price action goes positive on AMC and GME, there seems to be an uptick in FUD. AMC insiders have unloaded 70 million of stock this year. Well, look at the timing of that. Dropped at 8 a.m. today. And hey, before you see it, I don't think it's healthy at all to just scream FUD. Confirmation bias is not a good thing. When you see things like this, you should read it and you should say, wow, they're actually onto something, or I think they were wrong here, and this is why. We got to get away from this day and age of reading a title and thinking you know the entire thing, of seeing the title of a video thinking you know the whole thing. Watching videos of people rant like they're from Looney Tunes land and all their evidence is just, trust me, bro. This is a very data-driven, quantitative world. You have to know your facts. You have to know your data. You have to know your data sources. We can't just make judgments. You can't judge a book by its cover, and you definitely can't trust people that's, hey, trust me, bro. I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying. We got to get away from that. But anyway, with me saying that, we can't just look for confirmation bias. Okay, Duck Kid, if you're saying that, where's this particular article going wrong? Well, there's some good, there's some bad, and there's some stuff in between. Let's get into all of it. All right. AMC has surged 20-fold. Yes, we know it's up just under 2,000%. And a lot of people, a recent tweet, this author must have seen you buy, you hold. Top management has taken a different track. So executives and board members at the movie theater chain have unloaded shares worth more than $70 million. And they're pointing out that Adam Aaron, because of estate planning, he's talking more in the realm of $25 million. Okay. That sounds not good. If they believe in it, if they think it's going higher, that's a fair question. Like, I don't want anyone to think that you can't ask that, because like it's almost just like you can't bring up anything bad at all. I get that. If you're there, like, hang on, I'm in this, I'm looking for life-changing money, I'm looking to change the market. Why would insiders themselves be getting out if, like, obviously they want more money, so why wouldn't they hold it? That's fair. Well, first of all, I have a couple things. We know estate planning. Adam Aaron, estate planning, he's 67. He has to take care of his life, his family, his children, all that stuff. It's not like he's selling it all. He's still, I believe, the largest single owner. He still has 2 million shares. But what's important more than all of that is this line right here. Let me highlight it just because it's that important. Many of the stock sales, including Aaron's, were pre-planned. The filing is a 10b5-1, and it means that they're decided by a different party way in advance, months in advance. When you have titles like this, and when people who are against it, some of our favorite people such as Gasparino, they're gonna be like, they're selling, and they're saying it with the connotation as like they're sitting there and they're like, whoa, this is a very high price, time for me to get out. The amount in shares that they're going to sell and the date that it's going to occur are pre-planned. Go on Investedpedia, check out a 10b5-1. A different party is the person, like a different legal entity, is setting up the entire thing. It's not like these people are sitting here and training. They're like, oh, this is how I got to sell here. Okay, we're going to buy here. It's just not how it works. And then this is from Adam Aaron himself. 62.5% of my annual pay is in AMC stock, not cash. I hadn't sold one AMC share in 6 years. I publicly said months ago and again on Monday, now at age 67, it's prudent to diversify assets for estate planning. I still have well over 2 million own granted AMC shares. I believe in AMC. Right there. That's we knew this. We've known this for 6 months. 2 earnings calls ago, he said, I'm going to have to sell some this year. This is not crazy groundbreaking news. If you were listening to the earnings announcements, we all knew that Adam Aaron's selling it's going to happen. Some of it. He has over 2 million still. I like I said, I'm just reiterating. I strongly believe he is the largest individual owner of AMC. So not even talking about, like, I guess, leadership and all of that stuff. Literally on the most inherent, let's just say, human greed level, of course he wants it to go higher. He has 2 million. Every dollar this goes up, he's worth $2 million more. So of course, why would he go against his own interest on the most inherent, like, just greed level of, hey, I want more money. But with all that being said, I'm not going to sit here and say this is all rosy, first of all, because with actions such as this, you end up getting headlines and not everyone dives into the story. Not everyone does DD. And even beyond it, I'm not going to sit here and just say, oh, yeah, like, well, I think it's 14 of people in power positions at the company have sold some stock. They had some sort of graph here. Total sales in 18, 580,000 in 2021. We're at 70 million right now. Yeah, I wish publicly they were doing things that didn't allow for article headlines such as this, because that stirs up FUD of people who aren't diving more into it. But then again, I guess where I get my own, I guess, comfort in is I'm not in this play because Adam Aaron's in it. I'm not in this play because the CFO isn't in it. I'm not in it because of their board's own position. I'm in this play because I like this stock. I'm in this play because I like the potential of what's going on with the movement. My decisions are not made by someone else holding or not holding. If people want to hold, great. If people don't want to hold, okay. I'm not the arbiter of someone else's financial situation. That's not my right. I'm in it because I like what's going on with the chart. I like it because I like the leadership decisions of AMCs, particularly in the world of crypto. A lot of this argument can be said the same about GME. I'm not in it because of person doing this, a person not doing this in terms of holding or not holding. I don't care. I couldn't care less, honestly. I care, I guess, to a certain degree, more so in a secondary event, just because we get headlines such as this one. But someone else holding or not holding stocks or options, long or short, or maybe they've never heard of the stock. I don't care. Okay, that's their money. I'm here trying to make myself money on AMC and GME, and way more important than that, trying to point out some of the market, I guess, loopholes that lead to a severe opaqueness, lack of transparency, and an unequal playing field. So with it, AMC, GME, to me, I love the community and I love the representation, I think, of a lot of people in the community fighting for market fairness. If you're in AMC and GME just because you want money, that's cool. I don't think that's problematic at all. But I think there's a little bit of a narrative shift that a small amount of people are having a hard time accepting. I don't know how many times I say it, and I have no issue repeating it. My channel, the Matt Kohrs YouTube channel, it's not an AMC channel. It's not a GME channel. It is very much what's going on in the market. It's a market commentary channel, and I love to focus on market corruption, whether that's political insider trading, federal judges trading, the Federal Reserve trading, crazy amounts of FTDs, weird shenanigans in the derivatives market related to AMC, GME, the FTDs on Prog. Sometimes I just like losing money on Tesla. This isn't an AMC and GME channel. I've seen it a couple times from a couple ding-dongs that they think AMC made me. I mean, folks, this isn't an opinionated thing. Just look at my catalog. If something made me, which I don't even know how much I really believe in that, is like, because I think it's more community-based, not necessarily like a stock. I got big because of GME. In January, I had 10,000. I covered GME for February and slowly picked up AMC. And by the end of February, I had 100,000. Like it's just, it's there. It's weird that people are fighting about things that the proof is just out there. The evidence is out there. But even that, whatever. I mean, I feel like I've stayed very true to it from the start. My initial coverage on GME very much focused on what was going on with Vlad and what was going on with Robinhood. And from there, it's taken twists and turns, but it's always about market corruption, crazy, just like market action that to me increases the fragility of the system and should be fixed, should be regulated. Someone should look into it. If I see market corruption or crazy stories like buying the Constitution, of course I'm going to cover it. If you're looking for someone who exclusively covers GameStop, who exclusively covers AMC, that's cool. That is 100%, like, I appreciate you hanging out with me. But for every one person who wants something like that, there's 1,000 people who are like, hey, no, I like that, but I also like learning about other things. And even if it wasn't such a ratioed situation, that's where my personal interests are. And at a certain point, you have to kind of do what you're passionate about. Ding, ding, ding. The casino is open. Let's get rocking, folks. Rocking, rocking, rocking. All right. So in terms of more of active positions, I'm in AMC, I'm in GME. I don't have any calls or anything like that. Actually thinking about that though, now that I'm saying it, I kind of want those. I got to think about it. Remember options, it's a very weird week for options because you actually have less trading days. So with the half day on Friday, the no day on Thursday, it's pretty much like, especially if you're paying attention to weeklies, it's pretty much as if you're already starting on a Wednesday. So the weeklies, hey, be careful. Please exercise extra caution because we don't have a full week of trading. Like theta's already going to be higher. That's key for a lot of us to like kind of know. Can you look at PHUN news? Do you think it'll ever go back over 6? So the PHUN, the funware, I believe they bought more Bitcoin. They put Bitcoin either on like the balance sheet or they just bought something like that. PHUN, I feel like it's a little weird to me because the main thing I know about it, I like that they're putting Bitcoin. Like I like that they're buying Bitcoin. But to me, it only got some attention because of the assumption that it was tied up with DWAC. So I don't know much about like the leadership team. I don't know much about the company. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I do like that it's in the realm of Bitcoin and buying up some Bitcoin. All right. I tweeted this out a little bit earlier. I think it's very viable for GME to go to 250 today and AMC to hit 44. Obviously, we have some breakouts to pay attention to. I'm watching the volume on all of these. I think the volume is very important for us to see. Let's just see what the trend's going. But AMC looking good, GME looking good, Prog looking good. Matt, are you wearing your girlfriend's sweater? If my girlfriend were Mr. Rogers, I would be. Matt, been with you for many months. You're always upfront and honest. Keep doing what you're doing. Ignore the haters. Let's go, Brandon. Shout out, Tim. Let's get this lovely morning live stream started with a fat poll. What are we? Cheers, Moon Gang. What are we gonna poll? What do you want to ask the community? Great squash talk last night. Stay humble. Hey, I appreciate that. And the one thing, and I want to keep this short and simple. Hey. No room for drama. It's silly. It's embarrassing as a community. I guess people are just coming around to the fact that YouTubers make money. Like they're just finding out that YouTubers make money, which I in itself find to be astonishing. Yes, YouTubers make money, and words are literally incapable of articulating how grateful I am for what's going on. And I'm just like not gonna slow down. Like it's so cool to me what this community was able to do. But one thing I want to say about all of it, and it was some comment on the video that really, like, for whatever, certain comments just stand out. And I don't even know who said it. And he said, for like the 10,000 people who, like, 30 people fighting and their drama is pissing off the 10,000 people who are just trying to learn about the market and learn about what's going on. And it was something along those lines. And I just think that's very, very true. I mean, it's a small group of people. Drama follows. Drama all the time. And whoever said that, I mean, the way it was said, I was like, oh yeah, no, for literally every one person who's there in drama and a keyboard warrior and a trust me bro attitude and just doesn't know what they talk about and exclusively care about their social media, there's another 1,000 people who are like, dude, I don't give a shit about this. I'm just trying to learn about the market. The amount of people who are just saying, I don't care if YouTubers make money. I don't care about drama. I don't care about your following. I don't care about anything. I'm trying to learn about the market. I'm trying to make some money here. And when I heard that, I was like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense, because that's in my own head. I was not thinking about the numbers. If you get 10, 25, 30 messages in a normal day, if 10, 25, 30 people like are yelling at you something, you're like, wow, that's a lot. But then just in the games of number on social media, when you have hundreds of thousands, I think the average person, they're not there fighting on Twitter. They're on Sunday, they're watching football. On Saturday, they're hanging out with their completely real girlfriend doing stuff. Like they're not there. They're not interested in this drama. They're not interested in the bullshit. So it's one of those things where you very quickly develop a very large, astounding, silent majority. And I was like, oh. And I think for me, sometimes it's good to realize that there's a silent majority out there who has like way better things to do with their day than like engage in any sort of like pettiness, fighting. They just don't give a shit about it. You're here because you care about the markets. Whoa. Here, have some money. You got to make a living, bro. Paul, I appreciate that. That's so kind of you. Let's do a poll to see which meme coin this community stands behind, Doge or Sheeb. I feel like that might be a little divisive. I would need to think about it. Because like, if you pick one and then you're not in this group of 11,000 people's, there could get some anger there. No way could I commit to streaming every day. Keep up the great work. Hey, I appreciate that. That's so kind. You're in here all the time. So are you, Paul. Great stuff. I heart you take my money. Oh, man. The one thing I just don't get about this super chat thing is, let me read you a DM. This is kind of funny. I got this DM like right before I started streaming. Shoot, where is it? Message request. This is 2 sentences. End the super chats, dude. End it today. Well, no. I think a lot of people seem to forget that it's completely optional. If you don't want to, don't. If you're not in the financial situation to, and even if you want to, if you're like, hey, it's tough making ends meet, but I want to send you money, don't send me money. I am telling you, I am actively telling you, do not. Literally, it's optional. If you're in the financial situation that you want to, and you feel that the value I provide through education or entertainment, if you're like, hey, cool. And even if you just don't want to, if you're like, hey, I like your value. I like all of it. I just don't like your stupid shirts. I don't like your stupid face. I don't like your eyebrows, kid. Okay, that's cool. Don't. Like, it's just weird to me because there are people on YouTube who make way more money, like even streaming, and you could see it, folks. The super chats are not like, for whatever reason, they're not a private thing. Like, there are websites that track it all. The websites don't tell you that, hang on, like YouTube takes a 30% cut and don't forget about your 50% in taxes. No, they just have the magnitude of before YouTube and before taxes. But I don't know how to be more clear about this. It's optional. If you don't want to, that's cool. Because the other option here for me as a business, to be able to pay my bills, to be able to do what I need to do, is not put all my content out for free and create my own website, charge everyone, I don't know, $100 a month. And I go in there, it's going to be a lot smaller. I'll make a lot more money and I'll have a lot less drama. I've made an option. No, I want to be out in front of as many people as I can. Even I make less money, if that's what it means. Even if it also means that I get more social media shit. Okay, whatever. Like it's just a different business. If you're putting everything out for free, yeah, you're going to end up needing ads. You're going to end up needing affiliate links. If you don't want ads, if you don't want affiliate links, you have to put it through a paywall, behind a paywall. And a lot of people do that in finance. I chose to not go that way. Don't tell me what to do. Take my money, damn it. All right. AMC is looking great. GME is looking great. Like I said, GME 250 today is so incredibly realistic. Prog is having a good day at 512. Oh, actually, I wanted to see what was going on in the futures market today with the announcement. TradeStation. All right. I use TradeStation for my futures trading, just so, I don't know, in case anyone cares about futures. Oh, interesting. All right, Prog, man, actually a lot of these things are having a great day. AMC, now that we're above 42, I'm telling you, 44 is my next watch. It's actually 44, like 40, 44, 50. It's about halfway, but I just threw out 44 there just because it was a round value, because I also put out 250. So I'm looking at about $8 more to go on GME. We have a lot of action here. Lot of action. All right, let's see. Prog having such a good day. AMC having a good day. GME having a good day. Everyone's having a good day. Good day. Oh, I need Lucid to go more. I definitely need Lucid to go more. Come on, Lucid, you got to go higher. I'm sending you money just to piss off the haters. Been with you and asking the weird questions since April. Don't stop doing what you do best. Growing the tulips, condos. Oh, happy birthday, Matt. Shout out, Chris. Why would stock warrant price run when the underlying float was down? I'll have to look at that. Seems odd to me. I'd have to look into it. I mean, obviously it's possible if you're seeing it in JUPW, but I'd have to look into why JUPW. Let me look into that one. T-Mac, what's going on? To the haters, if you care how much I tip Mr. Kohrs, you need to mind your own business. It's my bromance too, so tell them haters to kick rocks. Kids making millions playing with toys and video games on YouTube, but people are upset. You guys making money providing free education. METX is on sale today. METX, let me check that one up. Stay true, what's going on? You know what I care about? Your xiphoid process. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. Also, how was dinner Friday with your totally real girlfriend? It was amazing. We went to this I guess somewhat well-known tapas place in Philadelphia, and it was super, super good. I am becoming an abnormally big fan of bacon wrapped dates. I think it's one of those things that like people are like, whoa, what's a date? Do I really like dates? Don't be that kind of person. Don't be like me. The next time you're out, give it a whirl. If bacon wrap dates are an option, try those bacon wrap dates. These ones particularly had like an almond in it. So when bacon, date, and then almond, some of the best food you could possibly have out there. So give it a whirl. Give it a whirl. Shout out Owen. Dr. Thompson, thanks, Matt. Keep it up. It's so crazy. We applaud capitalism, but then turn around and hate you for being so smart, businessman. Make it make sense. I wish I could. Not sure how people expect you to follow thousands of people commenting when half of it's noise anyway. Appreciate that you try. You provide a service and deserve compensation. Thank you. Shout out. Oh, John and Danny finally met. Cersei to squash the beef. But for real, that was an awesome Three Stooges dance for his clown. Hey, thick, younger Mr. Rogers, what's your thoughts on AVAX going to the moon or becoming a viable competitor? So everything I spent some of the weekend learning more about Avalanche, and that one, the token is AVAX. Everything I'm learning about it, I like more and more and more. Very excited about AVAX. I don't own any yet. I'm actually kind of waiting to see if there's like a considerable dip I could get a part of. Bitcoin still kind of selling off, but hopefully this is the first potential higher low we're seeing. So I'm hoping, talking about GameStop earlier when we were talking about Wyckoff and accumulation, let's see if we can get into a nice accumulation period right here. Solana was having some interesting news last night, trading above 220. SHIB down at 45. And then actually let's bring up AVAX, and we'll do it on whatever this one is. It's just holding. It's doing phenomenally well relative to all the other cryptos. And I don't like buying at a high, but I'm a fan of it. I'm just waiting for some sort of discount. Maybe it will come. Maybe it won't. All right. Everything on the screen, I'm looking for it to rip to Kingdom Come. Haters should consider condoms. Did you go to La Peg for tapas? That's my boy. Best tapas in Philly. Also, Kenny eats uncooked bacon on dates and dips them in mayo. I went to a place called Amada, I think is the name. Amada. It was super, super good. It was the first time I was there. So if you are in the... If you're in the bacon, if you're looking to get into the market for bacon wrap dates, and you're in Philly, I mean, this other one is El Peg. That could probably, it sounds like it's an awesome one. The one I personally had was Amada. It was great. Just be you, Matt. Thoughts on ASTR? Supposedly a rocket when we go to space. ASTR, I believe this is a space travel company. Huge gap up, but I don't chase gap ups. Also, it just looks like a very tough technical trade. So if you like it, I hope you like it from a fundamental standpoint. You like what the company is doing. The chart is hard to play off of. For example, what's an easy to play off of chart? GameStop. This trade is a freaking layup right now. Higher lows, accumulation, technical breakouts. We're getting horizontal breakouts. We're getting trend line breakouts. I said this on Friday. I said it over the weekend. This chart is looking nasty in a good way. Like nasty, like that. Not like, ew, nasty, like like, you know what I mean. I like to trade layups. I like to take super easy trades. Lucid to me, kind of an easy trade. It went up, it took a break. People didn't let it go that far. We gap filled, we're going up. Is it guaranteed to continue? No, I just think the odds are there. I like easy trades. Easy, lemon peasy. All right, AMC good. AMC's up 4.33%. GME's up 5.5%. Tesla's up 5.6%. Lucid, would love for that to go green. It had a very good day on Friday. Right now it's down 3.5%. Prog is up 4.5%, trading at 512. Let's start marking out these intraday highs. All right, so what I want to do now that we're getting going a little bit, and of course, let me know if something crazy starts to happen. I just want to talk to you. Man, it looks like AMC is about to pop. I want to talk a little bit more about Wyckoff just because I'm getting so many more questions. And it's kind of for me, a blast from the past because when I first got into like blue chip medium to long-term investing, Wyckoff and Darvis box, like those two theories, like Wyckoff and Darvis, were actually the first two books I read. So for me, it's kind of funny that it's now being discussed so much more. It's interesting and it's cool. It's definitely cool. We could talk about Wyckoff today and maybe we'll talk about Darvis tomorrow, maybe, I don't know, vice versa, something like that. You're going to see as we talk about like this Wyckoff theory of trading, a lot of the time, you're going to end up connecting it right back to the classic cup and handle, the classic Dutch tulip pattern. There's an Amada location in Ocean Casino in AC. Put this $5 black at the roulette table and grab some tapas. Shout out. Been watching you all day, every day since May. While at work, learned a lot from you and wanted to give back. Love that you cover the broad market and crypto. So just you're a tulip. My supers have zero to do with you and everything to do with the unrelenting need for validation caused by bad parenting. Don't take that away from me. Oh, man. Matt, when you take your girlfriend out to dinner, do you talk about me? Does she get jealous? Super chat, TZ are terrible. I hate supporting your channel several times a day. Weekends are to recharge. No drama, not drama. So much drama. But I think for me, I was thinking about that a little bit of like just even my day yesterday was consumed with drama. And I think that's a very human thing of when things are happening. You're like, oh, but imagine all day if I just sat there and I back tested some algorithmic trading strategies for AMC or GME and just gave that to you for free today. Instead, the hot topic is drama opposed to like, hey, like look at the data set Matt just explained to all of us. Like, I wonder if I could use that. I wonder if I could use it on these stocks. I wonder if I could use it on another stock out there. I wonder if he could teach us a little bit more about seasonality. For me, I've been trading. I've been in the market. The first stock I bought was over a decade ago. I just love this shit. The way my brain is wired, I like these numbers. I like these charts. I like what it represents. I like the concept. To me, if you figure out the puzzle, you get money. To me, that's what the market is. If you win at the puzzle, you get money. That's, I think, inherently the driver. I'm a very quantitative, like puzzle solving driven type of a mind. And with it, those are the things that I think are so cool. Like we could talk about it. We could look at the odds of it. When I joke around and I say, welcome to the casino, the way people who are very good at blackjack and poker, they know the odds of the game. They know the scenario that they're in. You can do that in the market. And I think a lot of you are, hey, I'm trying to develop a skill set. I want to be able to pay for a little bit of lunch money, get better, pay for a little bit of my rent, all right, pay my full rent, maybe one day switch over to being a full-time trader. Those are the things for me in my position that I need to focus on because that's what you guys care about. There is a whole nother subset of YouTube that it's just drama between other YouTubers. It in no way needs a place in finance. It doesn't deserve a place in finance. Been watching. All right, we did that. And Gorilla Champ, my girlfriend, my real girlfriend, and I talk about you all the time. We have it scheduled. Is your tulip joke about the 1636 tulip button when tulip bulbs were the most valuable currency in the world? Let's make a tulip crypto. It is. Yeah. It's just, that's why I'm so long on tulips, because they're coming back. I don't like when people say tulips were a bubble. It's consolidation. The way in Wyckoff we're talking about an accumulation period, this has been a 400-year accumulation period in tulips. So just very generically, let me draw something just so you guys know a little bit more about this terminology. So, all right. This is non-linear. If this was time on the x-axis on the bottom, it's non-linear. Don't think it's the same amount of days that it took to do this, this, and this. But in Wyckoff, if this was a vertical line, sorry, I just hit my hand. So this little chunk right here, this is accumulation. The next chunk is called markup, and then this is called distribution. So you have accumulation, markup, distribution, and then markdown. Accumulation is when it's basing, swinging back around. Markup is the price expansion. You have distribution when it's like, that's when I say the argument of throwing the ball in the air. And then you have a markdown, and that's the sell-off. Accumulation, markup, distribution, and then markdown. Those are going to be some of the main phases of it. So anyway, just bringing this back to what you guys really care about. And it just kind of repeats. Once again, non-linear, don't think it all happens in the exact same amount of time. And then that gets into the world of talking about fractals. So anyway, previously in tulips, there was a big accumulation, especially over in Europe in about the 1600s. And then there was a massive markup. At that point, there was a distribution, and then there was a big markdown. My argument is that for the past 400 years, we're just in another phase of accumulation. That's all it is. And think about it. The more you accumulate, the higher you go. For example, the more gas you put into your rocket ship, the farther your rocket ship can actually go. More accumulation, higher price expansion. Folks, people all the time ask me, they ask me day in and day out, how high can stock XYZ go? That's fine. And that's it. They're all viable questions. We can map it out. We can look at the fundamentals of the company. There are many things we could do. Not enough people ask me about how high could tulips go. The big players in the game, the people who control world power, governance, influence, the people who pulled the strings on the Illuminati, I'm telling you, you heard it here first. November 22nd, they're the ones acquiring tulips right now. They see it as a viable play, a very viable play, viable currency, and they're accumulating. They're accumulating. And when you see the markup phase on tulips go, you better have another pair of socks around you, because it's going to knock your first pair of socks off. I don't know how to be more straightforward about that one, but I hope you have enough money to have two different pairs of socks, because first one completely ripped off. All right. Let me know if you have any tulips questioning. Is this real or a joke? The nose of Dallas. Some don't know. I have a bacon deluxe combo and a, wait a minute. This isn't a Wendy's. You deserve this success. You have my man. We love you. Trying to learn options using Thinkorswim paper trading. Would you consider doing a platform specific video on options? Yeah, I definitely can. I actually got my options starting on TD. I think that's a great one. And I love the fact that they have a paper program, like a paper trading. If you haven't heard of paper trading, it's just, you load it up with fake money and then you trade it, so you're not risking your actual money. I think that's an excellent way to get started with both equities and options. Unfortunately, if you want to use a paper account with options, you're not going to be able to find that on Robinhood. You're not going to be able to find that on Webull or Public or even Fidelity. Actually, the only one I know about are Thinkorswim, and their platform that is the platform, but it's TDs. And then the other one I believe is Interactive Brokers. I think both of them have a paper account for options trading. A lot of things out there have a paper account for stock trading, but not options. I am positive that Thinkorswim actually has one also for options. So it's a great tool, especially if you're like, hey, I hear it's crazy, I don't really want to risk money. Well, don't risk money then, but like start to learn the mechanics, the terminology, how things do and don't move. Ruben, shout out. Trying to learn. All right, we did that. I think we need a. Oh brother, oh brother, oh brother, oh brother, oh brother. I am in on Lucid, just so everyone knows. I want to be upfront about that. I had some good calls last week, and then I rolled that into a farther out expiration on Lucid, December 17th. And the strike price is 70. I'm currently up 2.4%, so I'm basically break even on it. I'm not necessarily looking for this to go into the money. I'm looking to take advantage of the Santa Claus rally, hopefully like the first week of December. And then if I have some nice tendies there, I can lock it in and then roll it out to January. So once again, not necessarily looking for it to go in the money. If you're new to options trading and you're like, what is this kid talking about? I do have an options trading playlist like on this channel for free. Check that out. It's under playlist. So you can at least feel a little bit more comfortable with like the terms and what I do or don't mean. But remember, you can make money. You can be profitable before going in the money. Vice versa. You can be in the money and not be in profit. It does work. Well, it doesn't work either of the ways is honestly what I should be saying. All right. Prog unable to hold at $5.20. Just got knocked below 5. It's currently at 4.95, but still up 1% on the day. GME knocked at 244, hanging out at 233, still green on the day. AMC knocked perfectly at 43, or off by a cent, knocked down to 42. So a lot of enthusiasm early morning, and then thus far things have been getting hit. But let's see if we're just going to base. We've seen days like this before where the morning is extremely bullish and it seems to suck a lot of people in, and sometimes it sells off for the remainder of the day. But then we've seen a couple other odd scenarios where it's kind of figuring out what it wants to do. It starts to pick up at 1, then it really picks up at 2, and then power hour is nuts. We've had a handful of those types of days. So calm, cool, collected. When you're reading the chart, pay attention to things like the MACD, RSI. There was one indicator that more people have been asking me about. I don't know if this one has it. Williams alligator. Whoa. So this is a nice one for trending. So basically you have a nice trend when all of them are up or all of them are down. When they get a little crissy-crossy like this, a little bit of a chop. So if you're looking for a nice trending play, and of course this can be applied to various time frames. I'm just on the 1 minute because the market just opened. But right here, obviously we had a nice trend and then we started to cross. Some people, what they like to do is actually play the crosses. So for example, they would look for these to start to cross back over, and that could potentially be a signal for an entry. This is more, I can't even say it's a shorter time frame. It's the time frame of your trade depends on the time frame. So right now I'm on the 1 minute, so that's very much lining up to be day trading. But if you were to use these on a daily chart, well, no, now you're not day trading. A lot of these indicators, the time frame you should apply it to in terms of your trade is the time frame of the chart that you're actually looking at. I wouldn't be looking at like a 1 minute chart to make a decision on like a weekly, like a weekly thing. There needs to be some overlap. If you want to use like the 1 minute and the 3 minute and you're looking for a day trade, a swing trade, okay, yeah. But then if you want to go a longer time frame, well, now you're talking about like the half hour, the 4 hour, the daily, the weekly. Let's see how this actually pans out. And once again, this is the alligator. With all of that being said, if you have a question on a particular indicator that you want me to do like a standalone video on, or maybe just like during a stream, a breakdown on how it's used, the math behind it, alligator, I'm pretty sure it's just multiple moving averages here. The jaw, the teeth, and the lips. Whoa. Yeah, so we have some smoothing variables here. Another oscillator. But yeah, if you have, feel free to let me know, DM me, something like that. I feel like that's the stuff that's important to get back to, like actual usable things of like, hey, okay, we learned about this indicator. It's more of a trending indicator. And you're looking for the crosses to hopefully just take advantage of another trend. So actually, I'm curious. Check this out. Let's see how this would have worked. Alligator, where are you? Alligator. So see, choppy, chop. But look at the crossing in here. And then ever since that, if you happened on the daily chart to use like the fact that all three of them started to trend together on Lucid right around here, if you decide, actually I should move this up if we're going to be fair. Somewhere in here, if you bought this volume spike, if you bought the alligators all trending together, so crossy cross, a little bit weird, you might have been like, is it crossing? And then you buy the fact that they're all trending and you just ride the trend. It's honestly a nice trend following thing. And look how just trend. And it has no signs of slowing down. So the perfect entry would have been back in this zone according to this indicator. With that being said, there is no such thing on this entire planet of a perfect indicator. Most success I see when it comes to technical trading, it's the confluence of multiple indicators. It's the confluence of checking out what's going on with the volume and the RSI and the MACD and it's multiple things coming together. I view it as this. Use it as like different filters. Like, does it pass prerequisite 1? Okay, cool. Does it pass prerequisite 2? Okay, so different indicator. And when something aligns and you pass all your prerequisites, well, that's the opportunity that you create a position, you close your position. You want to be, in my opinion, and this isn't for all people, but this is where I've found success, as systematic as you possibly can. You want to try to stray away from the like, oh, I just feel like it's good. You want to stray away from the FOMO of everyone else being excited and things are ripping or everyone else is panicking and they're selling. You want to have, I know not everyone's a coder, but in my estimation, you'll be more successful if your trading methodology is something that's actually being capable of being coded. For example, did the 5-minute RSI cross over? Did it cross downward? Did the MACD do this? Did the MACD do this? Think about it in the sense of, is it based on emotion and your gut instinct, something that you couldn't code, or something that's like, oh no, this is like a verifiable metric that, yeah, like a robot could trade on this for me. Another one that, actually, this is a lie. This is not one that anyone's asked me about recently. It's just one that I particularly like. Fractals. So some people, this in a weird way can match up with MACD, but even if the fractals are just kind of taking relative lows and relative highs, so obviously the relative highs are on the top, the relative lows. So people like this for whatever time frame you're on to pay attention to. Let me get rid of the alligator for right now. Are you making new highs or are you making new lows? What are you doing? Or are you making new highs and new lows and just making a giant megaphone? Those are all possible. So it gives you a nice trend. So for example, higher. We were obviously trending up. Since then, lower highs, lower lows, a trend down. So with some people, once again, it doesn't have to be day trading. I'm just on the minute chart, but you could see this stuff, the minute, the hour, whatever, the daily. I'm just trying to use the structure right now to teach something. People like to try to attempt to take, in Wyckoff, it's referred to as change of character, but really they're just looking for a change of trend of like, oh, if we close above this bar, well, we haven't done that in a bit. That's why it's a change of character. So they look for that, and all they do is risk the most recent one, or you could risk like the most recent relative low. So really, and like, I know this is going to come off that like, oh, is he saying day trade AMC? Not at all. I'm just trying to use literally what's happening as the chart, and you could apply it to whatever time frame you want on whatever equity, crypto, it doesn't matter. But what I'm trying to point is, A change of character is if we break above it, because all we've seen is a series of lower highs. So now if we see a new relative high, that tells you something else is happening, and then your risk is right there. Maybe you're right and it rips from there, but even if you're wrong, your risk is very, very close. So it's not going to go like blow up in your face. So really, if we were, I guess, to use this part of technical, we would be watching for this. That would trigger the entry. A bar that closes above 42.24. That would be your entry, and then your risk would be 41.85. But once again, this is on the minute, and I know people are going to be like, is he saying day trade? No, I'm not. I'm not at all. I'm not. But let's just do a little fun test of the fractals, of this fractal strategy along with the alligator. Let's see. Let's see if that's like a legitimately good thing that people could actually trade on. So it looks like we're about to change of character, and then let's see if we could get a trend going. Look for all three to cross over, similar to what we saw in Lucid right here. All three cross, and then the trend exploded. You don't know how long trends are going to stay intact, so that's why you have to have some sort of like an exit methodology in your head, but that's what we're looking for. All three crossed down. They started to trend downward. And I would like to just point out, when all three were moving downward, look at what we saw. Lower fractals, lower, lower, lower. But now we're battling. We're battling. We're battling. And then we could check out. I don't actually enjoy using the volume on the 1 minute. I will on the 1 minute if we just see a huge expansion. We're like, oh, look, a lot of people bought something like that. But I'm not, especially midday. You could be like, wait, this means that people are accumulating. Well, also sometimes in midday it just means less people are trading. So I think volume on the 1 minute, there is some utility to it, but I find the volume on bigger timeframes to be of higher utility. Someone asked us, is NVIDIA a never-ending story? Did it hit a new high? Congratulations, Pelosi. She's crushing it. Crushing it, crushing it. All right, folks, check this all out. Look at the alligators are crossing on both. We're making new relative highs compared to the last one. I'll turn the fractal on this one just so we can kind of see that a little bit. Fractal, fractal, fractal. All right, let me drop the volume. It gets the big issue with this is how messy it gets. I'm just trying to illustrate. All three of them just crossed over, and then both of them, all three on both charts crossed in terms of these alligator lines. And then on top of it, we exceeded the previous fractal. Higher, higher. Change of trend in my book. Will it lead to a massive trend? I have no idea. I have no idea. It's always the game of what's a good entry, what's a good exit, and you just hope when you get into your entry that you hope your exit is very far away in favor of the trend that you were betting on. There are some techniques out there, especially in Wyckoff, of trying to price predict how much accumulation there was and what that leads to in total price. That's something we can get into. That's a little bit more math heavy. It's something that's worthwhile to know, but I think for at least where we are as a community right now, it's way easier to focus on kind of, we got to take baby steps to get into more of that advanced stuff. The loose skin at the joint on your elbow is called a weakness knowledge. What's going on, Hunter? Duck Kid talking about trading methods, but you literally used a quarter and a pole to determine your trades last week. Yeah, I mean,
whoa, brother.
I think some trading methodologies are better than others. So, yeah, I mean, alligator, Wyckoff, fractals, they're good. But if you want to use an excellent trading method, yeah, no, you crowdsource it to social media and you flip a coin. Remember, like, not all trading methodologies are built the same. Like I said, alligator, Wyckoff, fractals, they're good. But what's excellent is crowdsourcing it on a live stream and then using a 50-50 coin flip. And also accusing a Magic 8 Ball of being bought out by Citadel. That's when you get into the realm of like high caliber trading. Got here late. What are those three lines? If you're on TradingView, That was another weird thing. People think that this is Webull. This is not Webull. This is TradingView. It's under indicators and it's called Williams Alligator. TradingView, if you want it, it's in the description of the video right now because of Black Friday. If you use that, like that link, you get the first month for free. And then after it, there's various programs or like payment options based on what you do and don't get. And really the main thing I see is how many charts you're allowed to have up. I think you get 1 month free and then maybe it's like $15 a month, perhaps something along those lines. I don't quite remember off the top of my head. I don't know if Webull charting has the alligator. That's why I'm here, for the expert trading. All right, look at this. We're getting the cross. Look at the trend. So all of them crossed, and look at this. New high, boom, ba boom, boom, ba boom. I think we're about to have a nice trend. The question is, how long is it going to stay intact for? Lucid, ripping faces off. Oh, I just got a reminder to pay my rent. I'm currently up 21% on the Lucid one that I was... Actually, you guys could have gotten in at a cheaper price than me this morning. Once again, these are the December 17th, so I have quite a bit of time. I think one of the most prominent issues I see with new options traders is they take on excessive risk without knowing they're taking on excessive risk, and they do that by buying with too short of a time frame already in a high volatility environment. So make sure you give yourself enough time and make sure your IV isn't like jacked all the way up to the tits. Hey, Mateo, Ortex on Tilray. I know it isn't a squeeze play. I just heard some info about shorts, puts, and wanted to verify. Okay, yeah, I could check that out for you. TLRY. Trades on the NASDAQ. 9.56%. 9.56% estimated short interest, according to Ortex on Tilray. I think it's worth me shilling you this coin as it's legitimately a good product. Look at CryoWar, CRYOWAR. It is a blockchain PvP arena mobile game. It builds an Unreal Engine by experienced devs. It has a crypto governance token. Once again, that's CryoWar with a C. What are my thoughts on DraftKings in short term? DraftKings has been getting hit pretty hard. Accumulation, markup, distribution, markdown. Look for it to start to chop. When it starts to chop, that's a good idea of like, okay, another phase of accumulation. Accumulation, markup, distribution, markdown. It tried to catch itself here. Unfortunately, there was not enough accumulation and it sold off again. And then it actually just really got hit by the fact that it missed on earnings. So DraftKings, I like it. I'm a long-term bull. I don't actively trade it, but I would just look for it to start to chop like it's done previously. And then you're going to be accumulating for a bit. And then hopefully you have a nice markup period. But in terms of the sector, sports gambling, online sports gambling, bullish, bullish, bullish. Put this towards your rent. Please don't tell your girl that you and Trey were live last night. Want to know something funny about that? I walked upstairs and obviously she knew it was like a tense day. She knew that crazy things were going on. And I walk up, I was like, oh, like, did you watch it? And she was just like, watch what? Like, I was like a level away from her, having a very interesting live stream, and she was just like, what? She didn't even know it was happening. What was yesterday's live about? It was about drama and how it's a waste of time and we need to stop drama because a lot of people are here for serious reasons and they're trying to better their own life and develop a skill set and learn about the market, and drama just gets in the way of that. Maddie, actually like your shirt, eyebrows, and face. Take my money. You deserve every dollar and cheese that you receive. Thanks for all you do. Someone else recently just sent a giant box of Cheez-Its. I have like boxes of Cheez-Its now. It's one of those things that I'm just wondering if the joke has gone too far. Hello? Someone's at my door. We'll have to wait. Do you like the swing trade template on TradingView? I haven't looked at it, so let me write that down just so I can check it out. Swing trade template. Swing trade template. All right. Happy birthday, Mark. Shout out Captain Mexico. This is the best part of Super Troopers. We're going to Mexico. Can you give BKSY the eye test? It has a high short level satellite play with CIA assistant director at the CEO. Looks like alligator crosses. All right, we are looking at BKSY. On the daily, it doesn't look that good. And the smaller time frame kind of looks bad. Is this the right stock? I'm not liking this chart whatsoever. I'm seeing some weird chop, but more weakness than anything. I don't know. It seems sus. It's a financial conglomerate, so it's a SPAC play that I guess people aren't the biggest fan of. That case of Cheez-Its was for me? Christina. Yeah, I just got another one recently. Thank you so much. Where's a good place to buy NFTs, and how do you know what ones to get on? I'm in New York though, and hoping our government doesn't hate NFTs like they hate crypto. So I have mine on OpenSea and profile. Hang on, let me log in without you guys seeing all my passwords, and then I could show you what's in my NFT. Okay. So this is what I'm in right now. My profile is Kohrs Light, and then there's an ape. So shout out to Dave in Discord. I have my own ETH thing, my name. I have one from Unusual Whales. Actually, also shout out to Dave. This is from the Doge project, Doge X. So I have these three guys. I have the League of Sacred Devils, which I'm actually being told is a Jake Paul scam. I'm reading. Alleged. Let me say alleged. But then I have these two guys, which are recently doing very, very well for me. And then these, I believe it's in the metaverse, Gambling Apes. You get like equity ownership into some sort of casino, and the Twitter account that represents Gambling Apes is yeah, cool things. They just announced that they got their license. So this is like a metaverse, I believe, Decentraland casino. And I held it through some serious lows from when I bought it. How do I even see my own of how this has been going? So, So I bought it for 0.65, and for a while it was very, very cheap. Like it went back down to 0.2. So that was me, 2 months ago, 0.65. So now I'm back to basically break even. But I just bought ones that had crypto on it just because I thought they look cool. So I have the Bitcoin shirt one and the Bitcoin eyes. I'm bringing this up to you because I am not a good NFT person. Like these are the only two that are break even. I lost money. And I don't know what the Unusual Whales one is, like if those are going up or down. So break even, two that I'm unaware of, and then all the other ones. So I don't think I'm the person that you should be like, how do you pick a good NFT project? If anything, maybe you want to do the opposite of what I do in the world of NFTs. Consider donating your Cheez-Its to Feeding America if you can't eat before expiration. That's a very, very... I love that idea, Mary. I mean, not even mine. I'll just... I always... around Thanksgiving, there's... And it's very prominent in Philly. There are various food drive effort. So if you're in the Philly area and you're in the position that you can, hey, a lot of people this time of the year can be super tough for them. I like doing these like food drive things, and usually just soup and I don't know, like all the other good Thanksgiving stuff, like the list is, I don't know, it's whatever you eat for Thanksgiving. But I've never ever donated Cheez-Its. So I feel like I just need to add that into my food drive donation. Just really get a bunch of Cheez-Its in there. Here's some dollar love you long time. Shout out Shred Baked. Imagine that. Like, we appreciate the food, but why are there so many Cheez-Its? Oh, man. Extra toasty Cheez-Its are better than regular Cheez-Its. Oh, no, the name one's up, Dave. But that's also not an NFT that I bought. That was one that you gave me. I'm just trying to say that. In fact, Dave, I would argue that it's your interaction with me and my NFTs that do well. If I just go solo on it, my whole point is that I'm just not good at it. A hot gummy bear? That sounds painful. Weeble does have alligator. Thank you, meme maker. All right. And then M. Kriegs is calling out super trend, setting period 9 and a factor of 1. Super trend. Super trend. I will look into that one. And you said a 9 and factor of 1. Cool. Cool. All right. Chop. Markup, distribution, markdown, accumulation. We wait. Higher lows. We're just looking for the pop. Let's see what this has. Is anything else having like a notably big day? Nvidia, new all-time high. Pelosi crushing it. Tesla looking very strong. Tesla looks like it wants to... I wonder if it's going to break above this. Maybe a cup and handle setup. Kind of a inverse shoulder, head, shoulder. Probably a nice pop on some options. That's actually something that... I mean, I rarely day trade, but that's something that if you get that break... we could have probably something nice. Neo and Apple, people are calling out. Neo is having a great day, up 10%. Let's look at the bigger time frame on Neo. Oh, Neo's fighting back with some vengeance. GME on the move. Look for Neo to go to 44. Neo's having a great day. Apple, a new all-time high worth $2.7 trillion. This is going to be lifting the Qs up for sure. Look at the Qs. The Qs are a runaway train. I think GameStop's about to, I think it's going to 250. 250. Interview with Meet Kevin was great. Hey, I appreciate that. If you know who Meet Kevin is, one of the biggest financial YouTubers out there, I was privileged enough to do an interview with him. It's on the channel. It just got posted on Saturday. So if you want to check that out, it's about an hour long, I think 55 minutes. I was very happy with it. I really enjoy doing those interviews. It's kind of funny just thinking about how like the interview started way back when and how, I don't know, how much I like them now. It went from me kind of going, this is going to get bad. I'm just going to get a lot of heat to now like I actually like look forward to doing all these interviews. All right. So the Qs, what else? People were talking about CEI. CEI, I still find a little suspect. I'm not necessarily against it. I just think that there's better opportunity in the market. I think AMC, GME, Lucid, even the Qs right now, I think are all better opportunities than CEI. All right. We're moving, we're grooving. All right, so you guys get the idea that this alligator thing is, well, actually, I'll leave the alligator up and I'll drop the fractals just so we can watch the trend. But you see how that was the buy right here. So if you were using the fractal, this was your entry and your risk would have been 42. And then on this one, actually, your entry would have been closer to 241.5 with your risk around 238. So does it play out? Who knows? I'm just trying to say of like how you would set it up on your charts. And I don't... Is he telling us to day trade? No, I'm not telling you to day trade. That's ridiculous. Redonkulous. Thoughts on Qualcomm. QCOM. Whoa. Yeah. You already had to have a position. Mary, if you're fortunate that you already do have a position, you're letting price discovery play itself out. It looks like it wants to test for a new all-time high and go from there. Maybe you could watch the psychological level of 200. I wouldn't buy here. Most recently, the buy opportunity, at least on the daily chart, was around 166 when we started to swing right in here, or maybe on this breakout if you were aggressive. Seems a little late to the party, but if you're in it, ride it. I mean, look at the trend. Look how strong that trend is. What else do we have? Okay, so Prog, 469. Let me know if that gets back up into the realm of 5. And let's watch Tesla. One thing I wanted to remind everyone of is when you're doing these things, there's not a time frame that's the best. The way I am a proponent of using multiple indicators and making sure that they're all in your checklist, you could also use multiple time frames. I don't think the 1 minute, like they're all used for different types of things. Like if I'm about to be a medium to long-term investor, I don't care about the 1 minute. If I'm about to day trade, I don't care about anything above the 4 hour really. So you have to use multiple time frames, multiple indicators. I don't think there's a best time frame. I don't think there's a best indicator. It's all about the conjunction of all of them, of like ones that you find. Thank you for the TI on Friday for MU. My 80 calls are booming. Whoa, that's awesome. And you got that breakout as well. You might be looking at $90 next. 88. I guess if it 88, then 90 is what I'd watch. I mean, this is nice. I don't know what your expiration date is, but if you have a long time till expiration, I would continue to hold it. Is this a good explanation of what? Oh, this is a beautiful explanation. Check this out. Check out this. Okay. And I'm going to come back to this in maybe more of a... Okay. So this right here from, I guess, March all the way to October, this is the definition of accumulation. Okay, so previously you had a sell-off, the overreaction, and then they started to acquire big players. Big people started to buy. And then this is going to take a while. Because remember, you can't buy like billions and billions of the day. So if you're trying to create a large position, it takes time. So at first you have the overreaction from the sell-off, and then people start to buy. They start to buy, and then these people, something operators is what they're going to be called in Wyckoff. They let it come down. They want to shake out the weak hands. The smaller amount of weak hands you have, the better your markup, your expansion is going to be. So they test it out. Sometimes you see what's referred to as a spring where you overshoot the support, and that really helps shake people out. Sometimes you don't get that. So once again, they test it. You can see that the volume is drifting lower and lower and lower right here, just generically. Like if I were to draw this, that's kind of, it's a little too big, but all right, going down. So they're soaking up supply. Less people are trading because some big people have been buying it. And then all of a sudden you see a change of character. It's trying to break out, get smacked, backtest, boom, change of character, breakout, something's different. Even if you don't want to mess around in this accumulation, because no one knows how long an accumulation is going to last, you could wait for it and you watch it and you pour over the charts every week, every Sunday. You're like, okay, I'm looking at this. This right here is what would have piqued your interest. You would have been watching this. Maybe you bought some on the breakout and then you're like, I got smacked. But right here, they bought again. That final back test, you get out the weak hands, and then boom, you break out resistance. obvious change of character, and then you get the expansion. These are all different phases of an accumulation in here, and they all have their own fancy name. And then boom, markup. You have distribution. They all have their own phase name. Then you have the markdown. But look at this. Previously, the way we had a markdown that led into another accumulation, that's exactly what we had here. You have another accumulation, the sell-off, the breakdown, the spring, the test, the breakout, another change of character, and a rip. And then honestly, you could actually kind of since these are all fractals and it's not linearly based on time, you see this entire thing, the accumulation, markup, distribution, markdown, you see it all on different time frames. So honestly, there's like one baked into another, but I'm trying to point out the change of character on the expansion, and I wouldn't be surprised if this leads to another markup. Thoughts on Saitama? I don't know enough about it. A lot of these cryptos, let's call them smaller market cap cryptos, I see that they're driven by social sentiment. And anecdotally, I see a lot of people stoked about it. So I don't know. I'm not the expert on its project and what it is or isn't doing. But if you're looking for like, hey, I'm just betting on people being excited about it, at least in my chat, I'm seeing a lot of people. I own none of it. I'm not like saying this because like I want it to go up. I have no position in it. I'm just not the expert on that particular project. Is that the same thing that happened on AMC months ago? 100%. 100%. So it's a lot easier to just like kind of point out a cup and handle, because a lot of this accumulation, breakout, change of character is going to be, I mean, it's literally picture perfect. This entire period. Okay. So you had a markup, distribution to a sell-off, and then you see an accumulation. Accumulating, it tries to get that breakout, but like players are accumulating in this entire region right here. Look at this. Look at the volume. Downtrending, downtrending, downtrending. Supply getting like sucked up, and then you get the breakout, and this actually gets into the argument of, okay, is it a cup and handle? Is it a W? Is it a Darvis box? A lot of these things overlap, and they're not the same thing. Like, it is a different name for a different thing, but that's what I'm saying when you use multiple things. This is a Darvis box breakout. This is a cup and handle breakout. This is a Wyckoff accumulation that's leading to a markup. When you see various things, you're like, oh, it checks the box here, it checks the box here, it checks the box here. You can be more and more confident. So anyway, accumulation, a spring test, another spring test, volume going slightly lower, as in supplies getting soaked up, as in the big players aren't getting out. You get the breakout, which leads to the back test. This is the perfect entry, with your risk being very reasonable. You could have entered here, you could have entered here, you could have entered on the spring. That's kind of up to you. And then it leads to a massive markup. You go from a massive markup to a distribution. You go from a distribution to a markdown. You go from a markdown to a very long accumulation. Remember, in my same argument with tulips, the longer you accumulate, the bigger the markup. So we've been accumulating, well, and this is where it gets weird, because there's like a whole phase within this phase right here. Here's a sell-off that led to this accumulation. So we have like a double accumulation going on, which I think would be illustrated by the heights up to the low 50s, and starting. So you have the sell-off, accumulation. You're looking for the change of character, which would be the breakout, and then the rip higher. Or you could look at a bigger one and say, hang on, we have a whole Wyckoff going on within another Wyckoff. So you see the markdown. You see the spring test, solid entry right here. They try it. Nope. Another spring. You're just seeing a ton of accumulation. And now that's why the line in the sand is 53. And similar to this, don't be surprised if we get the breakout and then the back test the way we did previously. You get the breakout of whatever you want to call it. It could be, you could be focusing on the Darvis box. You could be focusing on the phase that we're currently in. I think there's 11 different like points within the Wyckoff cycle, blah, blah, blah. But overall, I'm saying, hey, don't be surprised if we break out, we quote unquote fake out breakout, but then that's what it gets tied back to, the whole cup and handle argument. So I want you to understand that a lot of these things, and I know I'm throwing out a lot of crazy terminology, a lot of them are intertwined. A lot of these things are intertwined, and they have different nuances here and there. But it's really, I want to point out that they're intertwined. There's not one that's perfect whatsoever. And I like to see the connection of many, many different ones of like, okay, it's good on the Darvis box. It's good on this. It's good on the RSI. We see this stochastic method, blah, blah, blah. List goes on. You create your own list. But what I'm looking for on AMC, the way we saw the markdown, accumulation, fake out, backtest, explosion, I think we could be seeing that on a bigger time scale. Whether it happens at 44, whether it happens at 53, a sell-off and a different sell-off, an accumulation, big accumulation or a smaller accumulation, a breakout, a backtest, we bounce off the backtest, and then it's off to the space shuttle. I know we don't talk about entry exits real time. Would be cool to hear how you add to your long-term account outside of what we see. So my long-term account is actually a lot easier. It's just more of like, if I see a discount on a stock that I like, I just buy it. I'm not so specific in my long-term account just because a dollar here or there, a couple percentage points here and there in terms of long-term don't really matter. You're either going to be very right or very wrong. So your entry, I would argue, is more, the smaller your time frame, the shorter your time frame, your entry is a lot more important. So long-term, a company like Apple, I mean, it just hit a new all-time high. I own a decent amount of Apple, but if I were to see a headline, Apple down 10, 15%, oh, okay, I would just buy Apple then. My entry points for my long-term are actually some of my easiest entry points. Do you think there's anything between utilization dropping and the current uptrend? Have hedge funds stopped lending in preparation for the rip? No, I wouldn't make that connection from a structural standpoint because they can stop the lending pretty much like right before they actually want to get out of their position. They wouldn't do it like so far preemptively. And I don't think that the big guys are selling because we are in an uptrend. GGPI EV SPAC 10K delivered in 2020, 30K projected in 2021. GGPI. I mean, not much of a chart to go off of, but I mean, if you're okay with risking 13, it's trading at 1450. I see a little bit of bullishness, like it went up, it back tested, and now we're swinging. So if you're okay with risking $1.50, I mean, that's your risk point, and maybe you'll get the test and the breakout of 16. I don't know much about it fundamentally. If it's an EV SPAC play, I'm a little bit more interested in the bigger guys. It's just easier to find information on them. Tesla, Lucid, even now Rivian. There's just more interest. They trade more volume. But that's nothing against that one. It's just I find that I'm more successful excluding Tesla on just like bigger name, like blue chip stocks. Someone said Lucid is dead. It's at $54. Have you not seen the Lucid chart? Lucid is dead, even though from September till now, it is up 234%. I'm trying to point this out by the fact that it is in no way dead whatsoever. Like the Lucid dead. Can you explain cost to borrow, please? Can you say cost to borrow as a percentage? What time frame is it, and how is it? Okay. And is it a percentage of the current stock price? No, it's a current. So cost to borrow, CTB, is what you would pay on an annual basis. So let's say I rent out $1,000 worth of XYZ. Well, I pay that percentage on that annually. Like it's an annual number, but you don't pay annually. You actually probably pay daily and or weekly, depending on your relationship with your broker or your prime broker. So anyway, let's call this 1%. If I rented out, let's say a stock XYZ, and it has a cost to borrow of 1%. Let's say I do $100 worth of it. Well, at the end of the year, I'd pay in total 1%, but it's a bunch of little micro payments per day or per week. So it would be how many ever trading days there are, like your percentage, the current percentage, because it's dynamic, it changes, it's based on supply and demand, divided by how many trading days there are in a year, which is, I think, around 220, 250. So anyway, it's the rate you see is annual, but you pay much more often than annual, and you're paying a percentage of how much you actually have out there. $1,000 worth, $10,000 worth, $1 million's worth. It's a percentage of whatever that magnitude is. What's Prog at? 469. Rivian is down. Whoa, Rivian is selling. Hood, 2850. Hood is selling. Bitcoin is 58,000. Ethereum is 4,200. How do you feel about Btbt? It's short interest, cost to borrow, and days to cover. I think a lot of people are just like hunting for short squeeze plays, and I don't think that's good. AMC and GME, I think, have gotten people to think that short squeezes happen far more often than they do. But with that being said, Btbt has a high short interest of 30%, a cost to borrow of 265%, a utilization of 100%, shares on loan of 16.4. So like it has those numbers. It trades on the NASDAQ. I would want to know if it's on the threshold list. And has a decent amount of FTDs as well. Is Btbt on the threshold list? Oh, let's check this out. Btbt is. So at that point, I would just want to look into the company. I know it's involved in the world of crypto. I would want to find out a little bit more about what's actually going on. But in terms of an FTD short squeeze type of a play, it has every prerequisite. So the final thing is literally looking into what's the company do. Like, is it fundamentally undervalued? Are people going to like it? Or are people shorting it for good reason? Tesla just hit the same high spot 3 times on the 1 minute. Yeah, it's just there's not enough demand to push through this wall of supply. So kind of a cup and handle, but also you're very close to that key psychological level of 1,200. So, I mean, if you get the break, it might actually start to do something. That could be cool. I went from being in profit on Lucid to now with this sell-off being at a loss on Lucid. So we're waiting. That's why you give yourself time. Look at Tesla just got that breakout. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down and retests this level and bounces off of it, or if it just goes from here. But I would think that the odds are of a retest just because it's going to go up to that key psychological level. It's such a round value, 1,200. So we hit that, it comes down, it bases, and then we go from there. Hey, Matt, in my opinion, you're the greatest duck shirt wearing, cheeses eating person in the entertainment business of all history. Any thoughts on LGVM? So I know that this one was moving last week because of a patent or a successful test or something like that. It's a tough technical trade. It seems like more of a fundamental trade of like if you know what's going on with the company and what it means for it. But to go off the chart, I mean, the volume's dying. So you're seeing volume exhaustion. It's having a good day today, up 17%. It feels like a little late to the party. Not long ago, it was trading at $3. It's currently trading at $12. It's a biotech. Biotech is not my bread and butter type of a play. Matt, you have any Tesla options going? I don't. If I did have free capital right now, I would be interested in trying to get a quick 10, 15, 20% gain on some sort of a play. But my money's wrapped up. My like options money is wrapped up in Lucid right now. Did you buy any Avalanche? I did not. Chris, that's oddly nice of you. Thank you. I appreciate it. DDS Dillard's has been slowly squeezing all year. Was 100% short GME boomer stock. Can you check it on Ortex? Yes. Dillard's. me check this out. They own a bunch of restaurants. Dillard's has a short interest of 42.84%, utilization of 26. Shares on loan, 1 million. That's a high short interest. Utilization is not that high though. And the price action, the nice point to get in was probably around, what was this? Probably around 200. I feel like it's a little late to the party. Yeah, but yeah, little late to the party on this one. It would have been a beautiful trade. The point to get in was probably like right around here. Look at, see the breakout, back test, then the rip. This was probably the most recent reasonable point to get in, or maybe if you were like okay with chasing, maybe in here. But yeah, I mean, 43% short interest, and it's a low float stock. These people are getting, the shorts are getting hurt on this one. But once again, you're late to the party. So in my opinion, it's a non-trade right now. But they probably shorted it because they're like, hey, who's going to restaurants? Like there's a pandemic, and now they're just getting hurt. Getting hurt. How have never heard you talk about EGLD, just once. I've never talked about it because I don't know anything about it on EGLD. Yeah, we talked about GGPI. I just like the bigger, more well-known ones in terms of EV plays a little bit more. I'm not against GGPI. It's just I'm kind of focusing on less like the top guys. It's just easier to find that info, find out what you need to. GGPI, hey, if you're in it, I hope you make money. I hope the company's a success. And if it develops a little bit more in terms of its chart, it might be a little easier to like lay out these areas of support and resistance, because more recently it's just been moving up and up and up. Dillard's is a clothing store. So is it still though like a COVID play? DDS. No. Is it still just like a recovery? Dillard's. Yep. You are 100% right. Upscale American department store. What am I thinking of? There's some like restaurant conglomerate that owns owner. Who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of Darden. So you have Dillard and you have Darden. So Darden is the conglomerate that owns a bunch of restaurants. Darden. And then Dillard is a department store. Darden. Thank you. Yeah, everyone's shouting it out. Darden. Hey, they're close enough. We round up here. Is it too late to get into prog? I mean, it depends on your risk tolerance. I'm in below this, so I'm in profit right now. But I think prog's an undervalued company, and it is, in my opinion, being abused. There's a bunch of FTDs. It has a higher short interest. I'm happy with my prog position, but I don't know what point would you risk, and then whatever point you're going to risk, well, you have to calculate it out appropriately with how much you want to place, because obviously you have to do that conversion of how many shares you should buy based on how far away your risk is, based on how much you're comfortable putting at risk. James and Molly just said, I want a divorce. I don't know if that's James or Molly, but I hope you work through it. DPW, they had earnings. Well, how'd the earnings go? DPW. Apparently not that well. And I just see a big downtrend in this stock. It doesn't interest me that much. Tesla having a good one. How about Neo? Neo having a good day. Let's throw up Prog 450. This needs to get some sort of base soon. Come on. At least Robinhood's in the red. We could all take solace in the fact that Robinhood hit a new all-time low. So that's good. What else do we have? Nvidia, new all-time high. Tesla and Nvidia looking a little similar today. Someone said Rivian tanking, yeah, 112. That 115 was my target, and I said if 115 doesn't hold, then I would be watching the psychological level of 100. If Rivian doesn't quickly recapture 115, I would very much be looking at 100. So if the stock split is going to happen on Tesla, I'd be bullish on it all the way up until the moment of the actual split. All right, Nvidia having a good day. So I know that was like the hot murmur on the street over the weekend was the Tesla stock split, which if it does, money-making opportunity. I'm trying to see any of the recent news. I mean, it's definitely not confirmed in any way. Tesla will turn hard up into a split. That's exactly what happened. I mean, it happened with Tesla last year, Apple, Nvidia. There is money to be made on the announcement of a stock split all the way up till the actual split. If it's announced, I myself will be looking to play that because I've seen it play out way too many times. RELI. Let me write that one down. RELI. Can you explain the stock split making money? People, it's a psychology thing. Even though the market cap of the company hasn't changed, they perceive it to be cheaper, even though it's not. So it's a psychology thing, and people think that they could just buy more because people like owning more shares, even though all you should really care about are percentage changes. But anyway, when it's cheaper, people think that they can own more, which is not a good way to think about it. But anyway, enough people get excited about it that it pushes the stock up. If a stock split, what's happened to my options? The stock split doesn't come out of nowhere. They announce it and it happens quite a bit later. So they would most likely adjust your options accordingly. So it's not like, oh, we're going to split today. It's like, oh, we're splitting in 2 months type of a deal. Robinhood restricting buying on Prog. I don't think that's true. Is anyone else seeing that issue? I also wonder why you're still on Robinhood. Please explain a stock split to a smooth brain. Yeah, the best analogy, this is exactly what I'm talking about, of the retest right here. The breakout, the fake out breakout, the retest, look for this to swing and then move. Let's see if it can actually be a perfect retest. But anyway, the best analogy I could do for a stock split is imagine if you have a $5 bill and then you just switch it to 5 $1 bills. That's a stock split. The value, the market cap of the company is the same. You just have more shares. You have more bills, but the total value is still the exact same. But for whatever reason, because of psychology, people do find it, I guess, more appeasing to have 5, I guess, $1 bills than 1 $5 bill. They would rather have, let's say, 10 shares of Tesla at 120 instead of 1 share at 1,200. It's all psychology. It's all a mind game. It doesn't change the market value, the market cap of the company directly. It does because of the psychology and then runs up, so it ends up gaining more value. But it shouldn't play out that way, because if you own 1 share at 1,200 or 10 shares at 120, a 1% gain is a 1% gain. A 1% loss is a 1% loss. All you should care about is the total amount of money you have invested in a play and the percentage gain and or loss on that, not how many shares you have. Like I said, it's just it's a mathematical sleight of hand. I want a divorce from you. This is the third time you skipped me putting dollars in your G-strings. 3 super chat, Matthew. James, I'm sorry we're getting a divorce. Can I just like not agree to it and refuse to divorce you? What else do we have? What's the difference between the sell to open and buy to open? They are perfect opposites. Are you selling a call or buying a call? Both of them you can create a position that are you doing a covered call or are you going long on a call? They are very, very different. Actually, I shouldn't say polar opposites, but they are almost polar opposites. Sell to open is opening a short. Not if you're talking about options. Sell to open is a short if you're talking about stock, but if you're talking about a call, that's the difference between going long on a call and creating a covered call. Getting a lump sum of money next week from selling my house and looking in long-term investments I want in on Tesla, but assuming it's better to buy after the split, or does it not matter? I've been mostly looking into EV and Marinera stocks for long-term, as well as some crypto. So at this moment in time, I think EV is currently overvalued. I think if you're patient, you'll be able to buy a dip, probably a considerable dip at some point in the future. So I don't know if I'd put my long-term money on EV at this moment in time. I think you could just get more at a cheaper price in the future. Marinera, it's cheap right now. And then crypto's also getting beat down. So, I mean, not long ago, Bitcoin was at 69. You could get it for $10,000 cheaper right now. I like to buy for long-term. I mean, if you're seeing things that you like on a discount, that's what you should be buying. EV's trading at a premium. Crypto is trading at a discount. And then so is marijuana. I would say amount of shares only matters for covered calls. It's like the wheels trade. Yeah. Okay. So for the market cap and people playing equities, stock splits don't really matter. But for people in the options market, I would agree there. I would say that, yeah, that matters because it changes the value of premiums. It changes your ability to do covered calls. So it has an impact more so in the world of options. Man, why is Lucid continuing to sell? That's not fun. Prog trying to get its bounce back. Would you say I agree on stock split being psychological, but Tesla splits I can get more shares for the same value? Close split, and then I can write calls and puts. Yeah. So I think it does have, it's fair to say it changes the game a little bit in the world of options. Hey, Matt, just a question from a new investor. After the most, I want to become a day trader. Any advice or recommendations? It's going to take longer to develop that skill set than you think it is. I would say go profitable for like a whole year before you quit whatever your job is to become a day trader. Like prove to yourself that you can do it. It's a big emotional game. There are very successful day traders out there, but they are few and far between. It is extremely difficult to be a successful day trader. A lot of people are more successful, like medium-term swing traders. I think it's easier to do that than to be a day trader. A high percentage of day traders blow up their account. Can you check ATR long-term fundamentals? Looks good with price targets of 14, short interest 19.2, 3-month support. I don't know much about ATR's fundamentals, so I can't comment on that. If anything, fundamentally, I just saw that the company confirmed synthetic shorts. Technically, this is a very weak-looking chart. It's at support right now. If it breaks down below this, I would watch 4, and below that, I would watch 3. This looks weak. All I see are lower highs. This is a technical commentary. I don't know about the fundamentals, so I can't like say if it's fundamentally undervalued or overvalued. I just see lower highs at support. If there's not enough demand at the support, I think we'll go to 3, 4, and then if it can't hold at 4, then I would look at 3. Everyone's on Robinhood because it's the easiest to understand options. Can you put out a video explaining buying an option on Thinkorswim or your recommended broker? I can definitely do that. I also want to clarify, though, if you're playing with options, none of those brokers avoid payment for order flow. Even if you're doing options on Fidelity, if you're doing options on Thinkorswim, I don't know of a brokerage that allows you to do options trading and avoids payment for order flow. I want to make that very, very clear. So if you're on, I mean, I wouldn't use Robinhood just because I don't want to help them. But for options trading, I don't know of a way to avoid payment for order flow. My thoughts on GME, I think GME is looking great. I love it. It's at 237. I think we could be talking about 250 very soon. GME is looking so good. Honestly, so is AMC. We're right below 42 right now, but we've traded almost all day today above 42, looking for the recapture of that. DWAC, pump and dump, looking for the put call option. So DWAC, it's a shell company of a shell company. I was calling out the gap fill to 52. It took longer than I thought it would, but in here, I was like, hey, I see a gap fill to 52. It couldn't hold the gap fill. So now you're potentially talking about all the way back down to 16. You could look at other areas. Maybe 40. 40 would be my next target. But DWAC, it's a shell company of a shell company. Right now, the beta is not rolled out. When that rolls out, that might change the game. But as of now, it's a shell company that owns a concept. There's nothing there yet. As a business that could change. They're expected to roll out the beta this month, but we're almost at the end of this month and we're running into a holiday. So all of a sudden you're looking at a company that was going to roll out its beta this month, but if they don't roll out it, they're behind schedule. People aren't going to like that. And I could see more selling pressure. So, you just have to pay attention to what's going on with it. I don't know if it was a lot of enthusiasm because people are getting rightfully tired of mainstream media and big tech censorship. That is honestly my own frustrations with what is going on here. That's my own frustrations with YouTube. I mean, I've lost my account 3 times for nothing. There's always those WhatsApp spam accounts. There's always those crypto spam in the contents, and it's just frustrating. They silence people. Trey and I were speaking about this privately, but we were looking at like kind of our analytics and our data, and we strongly believe that they are purposely not showing AMC or GME related videos to new people. Trey and I are both getting views from returning people, and it's rarely getting into the world of new people. I see why people got excited, and I see why there's a demand for a little bit more honesty from mainstream media and big tech, and that's exactly why I stream to YouTube. I'm also on Twitch, and I'm also on Rumble. Rumble, if you're listening right now, I think that it says there's 130 people watching on Rumble. Shout out, I appreciate it. Rumble is awesome. I've talked to some of the higher up people there, and then just their vision of what like intrapersonal media should be. It's so cool. Like they truly want to not like silence voices just because it goes against the agenda of the business. Happy to be there. Happy to be on Twitch. It's just safer for me as a business to be on multiple things and not have all my eggs in one basket. So if you want to check those out, all of that is in the description of the video, everything. If you want this charting software, I think I called it emoji charting, click on that link. Don't forget to sign up for public free trading. You get up to $70 of stock when you sign up to. No payment for order flow, no market makers. If you want crypto, check out Voyager. The code is MAT21, all of this stuff. If you want Ortex, TradingView, Unusual Whales, Benzinga, all the stuff that I use, it's going to be in the description of the video. And especially now, this is always an ideal time to get your trading software just because of Black Friday deals. Generally, all these places are running Black Friday opportunities where you can get in at a discount. Please explain options PDT. Opening and closing 5 contracts, same strike price date. Is that one trade? What if my account goes beyond 25K? Still equity. It depends on if you open all 5 and close all 5 at once. So that's day trades. Some brokerages are counted by your openings and other ones counted by your closing. So there's not a consistent rule. Pattern day trading itself is because it's how many day trades you have. But the way they're allowed to define their day trades, some brokerages say it's your opening position and other ones say it's your closing. So if you buy all 5 and then sell all 5, like all at once, that's a day trade. If you go over 25K, that's another thing that's up to the brokerages. If you go over 25K, a lot of them give you unlimited trades right then and there. Some of them wait for you to go to the next day. Like they want the bell to go ding, ding, ding at 9:30 a.m. with your account being over 25K. Once again, that's up to the brokerage of how they want to handle it specifically. These are little nuanced rules that piss a lot of people off, and it's frustrating to learn about because you might be like saying, wait, what? Like, why isn't this like uniform across all brokerages in the US? And to that, I would say that's a very good question. Can I take a deep dive into Roblox? In my Discord, we've spoken about Roblox quite a bit, and I've personally even taken more time to look into it. My deep dive result on Roblox, right now I think it's a bit pricey, but overall Roblox, in my opinion, is a great long-term investment. It's being a little bit cheaper. If I could scoop it up at 120, honestly, I guess 100, like the lower the better if you're going for long term. This was a great run. It destroyed earnings, but I think Roblox is a great long-term investment. I welcome any dip because to me, that's just another dip buying opportunity. All right, folks, we're a little bit past 11. That is it for the morning show of Dumb Money. Thank you for your support on your way out. I would greatly appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Just helps me out with the algorithm. Don't forget to check out Twitch, Rumble, if you want public, Voyager, TradingView, all that stuff in the description of the video. I will be back on for Power Hour, 3 p.m. So make sure I'll get it up there so you can set your reminder. But thank you for all the support. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. I'll catch you in a couple hours, and shout out to the Discord. I'll be with you guys in a little bit. But overall, thank you. And as always, from me and Chair, best of luck in the markets.